story to be told visually. And when I was listening to it, I'm like, okay, so the lyrics basically it's about, someone regretting, leaving you, hurting you, being in pain, heartbreak, all that stuff, right? So I'm like, why don't we do it the complete opposite of how we did the male version? Because the male version was the complete love story and cheating story and deception and all that. And I was like, why don't we show, when someone's in love and
I don't know what that's like, no.
The first stage, you don't know what it's like? The first stage of love when you're so innocent and naive and pure and you don't see anything but that. And suddenly you're with the wrong person and the person can actually, when they hurt you, they can break you. When they break you, you can feel like your innocence is stolen. You're abandoned. You can feel your ego really hurts. You can get into a very dark, negative space.
Yeah.
And that's very normal, during a breakup or even during a time when someone you really trust breaks that trust. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That could really break you.
That space mentally is dark. That's why, I switched from the white, almost like a Virgin Mary divine pure look with a complete dark black zone with that black swan.
Yeah, it really was a good contrast. Yeah,
that contrast is so necessary because that happens. It's you're suddenly in this cloud nine where you're so in love, you're so happy, and then boom, shit hits the fan and you literally drown into a dark hole. And so many things can happen to you in that hole. You can feel almost a lot of anger. You can feel a lot of hate. You can feel you want to make that person pay for what they made you feel. That's a very negative space to be in mentally. You know what I mean? That's why there's a lot of that. That black smoke is that negativity, that toxic shit.
I have a question. Was that black smoke CGI? Because, I've seen you look like that when you don't get food. So did they just capture you in the best moment?
Obviously that was CGI though. All that was CGI. Even
the CGI was amazing in this video.
Tears. Huh?
The CGI was so next level on this video. The tears, it was just so amazing.
Honestly, with whatever budget we had, we had a really low budget and we did whatever we could in that really low budget. But everything has a subliminal message. Even the red tears is what it means. It's when you cry so much, you can't cry tears anymore. All that's left is to cry blood. That's a lot of pain within that. So even transitioning from that dark zone and trying to kind of break yourself out of it, because obviously everyone who goes through a really bad breakup or gets hurt by someone they love, once they're over that dark toxic zone and they try to find themselves, they try to love themselves again, it's hard because that emotional baggage can pull you back, which is why we use those bandages. That kept pulling me back, and then during the dance I was ripping them apart. So that's emotional baggage that everybody
that's
carries.
Cool. Wow, that's very visually. That's the way you just explained that. Now I'm just wow. I interpret that to hear you say it that vision. I want to ask you a question actually. So, and I want people to know this. So when you got briefed for this project, I want people to know. like you were saying, you did have a lot of creative control. You and Rajat had a blank slate to visually tell this story.
Right.
How did you work with Rajat to kind of collaborate and make sure that? By the way, Rajat, shout out to you. I'm so proud of you. You did such a great job with this video. Malu Pride. No, I'm just wondering, how did you guys collaborate to work? So it's so unique to me, how involved you get with your projects. Every project to you is such a passion project. And I just want to know, how did you and Rajat kind of work together to make sure that vision was uniformed and conveyed the way you envisioned it when you were briefed about it?
Well, me and Roger, anyways, are always on the same page creatively because we work with each other a lot.
You guys, Roger's the choreographer from Pepita, so that's iconic. We should know that. That's why it's so amazing.
He choreographed Pepita, and I dance with him a lot. And Roger also is in that space creatively with me where he also wants to experiment. We both want to experiment. We both want to do international things. And that's why he works with my international team in Morocco a lot. So unfortunately, my international team couldn't be here for this project, but we did it on our own. And of course, I get inspired by a lot of international artists because I want to increase the level of visuals in India. I want to increase the level of storytelling, the level of dance, the level of everything artistically in India, which I know sometimes it's hard for people to accept at the first go, but that's part of my branding. That's part
No,
of my
that's
vision
you
and
have to
goal.
push the envelope. It's your brand, exactly. It's your brand. You got to push.
Yeah, it's part of my brand. So I'm gonna do it regardless whether people get it in the first go or not. But like for example, like I was going through the comment section on YouTube and a lot of people didn't understand the video. A lot of people were like, it's a horror video, it's scary. It's not. It's not. It's subliminal.
It's just so interesting how people can interpret this. You know what's so interesting that you say that? I mean, so before I went to sleep, I watched your video on mute this time. Because I kept watching it with the sound, but I'm like, let me watch it on mute and just look at it for the visuals. And obviously, I don't think that makes a difference because my ass doesn't know Hindi anyway. And, you know, I mean, guys, yeah, I'm brown and I don't speak the language. I'm sorry, but I interpret. It's just so interesting because I feel like you can interpret this in so many different ways. Like I interpreted it in a different way when I watched it without sound and everything. I'm just like, this just sounds like we're getting to someone's head and we see like these inner demons or just inner struggles that this person's pulled into. Sorry, and it was just so cool to see how like that angelic you, the innocent you, would fight through that. You know?
Yeah, I also imagined like the emotion and the acting to be very subtle and very internal. So it's just like in the eyes, like in the first look where it's all white and innocent, you can tell from the face. It's very like, you know, it's very pure. It's very, you know. I didn't want that overacting of you leave me, you left me.
Yeah.
I want it. You know what I mean? So like when it's sad and it's like shocking, it's shocking. And when it's dark and it's almost like a warning of like literally gonna regret what you did. All the darkness. So I didn't want any like overacting. I wanted it very subtle, very internal. It's the same thing what we see in the Western music videos, and everybody like loves seeing Western music videos and they applaud it. So I wanted to bring the same style here because anyways that is my zone. You know what I'm saying?
That's very interesting.
Also the dancing, like I do want to talk about the dancing, is the dance itself, like the contemporary style. It's to express in an abstract way the emotion of like liberating yourself from that emotional baggage and like self-love and just accepting that even though you left me or even though you hurt me or you fucked me over, like it's cool because you're gonna regret it, that you're not gonna find better than me. You know what I mean? It's that self-love. It's that, you know, holding yourself at a high value, which we forget to do during a heartbreak or during a breakup. So there are a lot of stages, like towards the end, all those shots you see, you can see a change of the lighting, you can see the change of the background color from black to white. All these things are important because they signify a shift of the mindset and a shift of the emotions. So of course, after people listen to that, maybe when they go back and watch it, they'll understand it better.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about people, and I want to put it out there, like people should, instead of just going straight to criticize something just because they don't get it, they should be open to understanding it, you know, and just interpret it instead of just bashing the idea, like, because it's different. Being different is good.
My goal was complete interpretation. Like, you would watch it and interpret it in your own way, what your emotional journey through a heartbreak would have been. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I relate to that so much. Like, I'm very egotistic. Like, if someone hurts me or someone, like, fucks me over, I get into this dark space in my head where I'm like, fuck, I hope that person pays. I hope that person pays. It's very toxic.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely there. And obviously, like, I think everybody can relate to when you're first in love, that innocence. Even that rose signifies that love. Like, you don't want to hold, like, you don't want to let go of it, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's like what it is. I know. I hope you understood it. I'm sure you did.
I mean, obviously I did. I'm just waiting for T-Series to put some subtitles, but, you know. I have a question, though.
So there.
No, it wasn't yesterday, but, okay, I have a question. So, you had so many, like, intense moments, like, so many intense moments. And there's just one major one where I just saw so much emotion. And as an actor, you know, we kind of, like, dig deep in to bring that out, to channel it, the pain, the anger.